Oh, wait.
Aloha, malo lele, talopalova, kiora na yorana, and Nistambula vinaka. Welcome to the very first episode of OTAI Talks. Now think to yourself, when you hear the word Polynesian, what comes to mind? I know for myself, if I were not of Polynesian descent, probably names like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Troy Polamalu, Junior Seau, names like that would pop up. Singers like Dinah Jane of Fifth Harmony, the Jets. But we are more than just singers. We're more than just actors, more than just athletes. Each Polynesian, no matter where it is they come from, has a story to tell. And that's what it's all about here at OTAI Talks. And that's what we aim to do here, is to focus on the everyday lives of our people of Polynesia. For today's episode, we will travel to the beautiful land of Orlando, Florida. There we meet a young man by the name of XAVIER Netane. And this is his story.
It's funny, man. It's when I was, growing up, my family is entertainment family. My grandfather sings, and all my aunts and uncles and my dad, they all dance. But I never really wanted to dance. Growing up, I didn't really want anything to do with dancing. Till one day, my aunt came to my job, and she asked me to come and dance at SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I still didn't want to dance. And she just kept asking me, then my dad asked me. So I just thought I'd try it out. So I went and tried it out, and man, just fell in love. I guess that's where the whole passion for dancing began. I think I was about 15 years old.
So SeaWorld, you guys run a show up at SeaWorld?
Yeah, so my grandfather, after he left Hawaii, he moved out east. And he stopped in Ohio, at SeaWorld in Ohio, and then he ended up in Florida, the SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida, and that's where my family kind of stayed, where they're still at today. The show's no longer there, but they started the show at SeaWorld, and that's where I picked up dancing.
Man, so that means you just come from a big, huge, talented family. If I remember correctly, you have ties to even the Muti family here.
Yes. Yeah. Auntie Tia, that's my, her father and my grandfather are brothers.
Oh, nice.
And so, I wish I could sing like her and her kids, but I think the singing just skipped right over me, and just the dancing hit me. The singing, I don't know where that went.
So you're here at PCC, you've danced all these numbers, from Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa, things like that. What would you say is your favorite culture to dance?
Fiji.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because it's different. We had a Fijian section back home, and one of the boys danced here at PCC, but he taught me just the basics of dancing Fijian. I don't know. I think it's just because it's so different from Samoa and every other island, and learning how to dance Fijian is not very, it's not something that is danced all the time, but especially coming here and being a part of this show, dancing the Fijian section was pretty cool to me. And I mean, being able to learn from Api and some of the other Fijian boys, but Fiji section, that's one of my favorites.
Nice, yeah. Very nice. I also see you dancing on the Samoa canoe, the canoe show. What's that like? It's a whole different, scenery, stage per se, but what's that like?
Yeah, dancing on a canoe is interesting. I mean, your stage is a canoe and it's moving. But I think just going along with dancing at night show, being able to dance on the canoe, it's pretty cool being a part of, that alumni of people that came before you that were able to create the numbers that we dance and dance on some of the same canoes that we danced on. And so it's been a pleasure being able to do that over the summer, being able to dance the canoe show. It's a cool experience.
Throughout your childhood, growing up and whatnot, what are some lessons that the older generations, your grandfather, your father, and whatnot, what are some lessons that they taught you that apply to dancing, but also apply to real life as well?
I want to say just working hard, and I think that's a common thing throughout the Polynesian culture is working hard. I know for many of us, our grandparents that came here from the islands, they came here to start a new life, and some of them found it through entertainment and pushing the entertainment. But what I picked up, especially from my father, was just being able to work hard. And I think that has applied to my academic work, being able to venture into new things. Growing up, school was never really a passion of mine. School was something I never really wanted to pursue unless I was playing football. But being able to learn how to push myself, whether it's through dancing or through school, has really helped me develop as a student, as well as just a working man, being able to work.
So we know throughout all Polynesian culture, family is number one. Family is what trumps everything else. What would you say would be one of your fondest memories of dancing with your family, whether it be in Orlando or here or anything like that? What's one of your fondest memories?
Man, it's interesting. I was just thinking about this the other day. It was, so being able to dance with my father, my dad worked with me at SeaWorld, and being able to work with him every day. And it was all the behind the scenes things. It wasn't so much what was going on the stage. It was being able to see my dad's leadership skills and pick up things from him that I use and apply today. Just little things, and being able to ride home with him every day and listen to his stories, the same stories he'd tell me all the time. But I think about those things often now that I'm living away from home. I think about just the little conversations that we had, and those things are, I think, more precious to me than being able to share the stage with him. It's most definitely the behind the scenes stuff.
Must have been an amazing feeling to share the stage with your father, to dance alongside him with your family members. That's amazing. You're married now? Yeah. What's your wife's name?
XAVIER Netane. Yeah.
And what's the story? What's the story behind you two meeting?
Oh man, long story short, she saw my dance moves and she couldn't. No. So I danced at Disney in Orlando as well. And I danced with her sister and her brother-in-law. And we met before my mission, before we both served missions. We met out there. And we both went on our missions and came home. And after coming home, I was home for about a year. Mm-hmm. Then I moved out to Utah. And we dated for a while there. And we came to Hawaii. And her parents gave us that talk. And I asked her father if I could marry her, and the green light came, and the rest was history. But
so is her family from here in Hawaii?
Her family's from Kapolei. Yes. Okay. Her mom grew up, I believe, on a big island, and her dad's from Samoa, from Western Samoa.
Oh, man. Yeah. What would you say? I mean, being an American-grown Polynesian, what would you say? How do you carry that culture, those life values? How will you continue that with your wife and your future generations?
I think building strength in the home is most important. Seeing it with my father, my mother, and those same principles were practiced in my wife's home. But being able to teach our kids within the walls of our home, I think is going to be the most important. Teach them the value of family, the value of work, and how they can apply, these principles to their lives. Is probably going to be our most important job as parents. Being able to raise them so that when they go out, they can, do the things that they do with a good conscience. But I think being able to teach them at a young age, growing up, and also being an example, being an example to them.
We're gonna kind of flip the script here. What's one of your funniest memories of night show so far?
Oh man.
When you're in that room, in the locker room with the Tofisa boys, a lot of craziness goes on. Ooh. So, what would you say is a good funny memory from that?
A good funny memory from night show. Oh man. Every night is like a crazy night. You've been back there, but I gotta say one of the funniest memories was definitely doing the music video. That was a good time. It was something where a lot of the boys were able to get together, and outside of work, we didn't have to worry about who's dancing where or who needs to wear where, who doesn't wear their costume on stage. But it was just more fun than anything else. So I think thus far that was, one of my favorite memories. And it was pretty funny too, is having all the boys there.
I was laughing at some of the comments from that video. It said, "Married men shouldn't be there."
Oh man.
What's your thoughts on that?
Just have to help the Usos out,
Yeah, for sure.
It was all for the fun of it.
Oh man, like I said, Xavier, thank you once again for coming. You're an amazing dancer, and now that I've talked with you personally, you're an amazing person too, man. So thank you so very much for coming in. You got any last words you want to say to the viewers out there?
Come check us out. Come watch. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.